Hi, Chad with serveandvolleytennis.com here, and today's video is going to be based on an article I wrote on my blog, which is 10 fun tennis drills you can practice without a court. Now I'm going to be going over 5 of these drills today, and again, you can practice them anywhere, guys. You don't need a tennis court. I'm going to demonstrate most of them right here in my home, so you can see that I can practice tennis at home and still improve when I get to the court. So without further ado, let's just get started and go right into the first one. All right, guys, here we are in my house as promised. Not at a tennis court. I just cleaned it up for you. Take a look. You like it? Okay, the first drill we're gonna do is pronation. And in case you don't know what pronation is, it also has to do with supination. But don't worry about these big words because I'm gonna show you what exactly they are right now. Okay, put your hand out, right in front of you, palm up. Okay, like you're begging for money. That's called supination. Put your palm down. That's pronation. That's all it is, guys. Supination, pronation. Why is it important? Because for all advanced tennis serves and all overheads that advanced players use, we pronate. We come up with our palm facing one direction and then we turn our palm in the other direction. And this happens by the use of the forearm. Okay, it's not my wrist that's really doing it. It's my forearm that's actually turning and moving my hand and my wrist. Now, how do we do this drill to improve our pronation? Well, we take a racket, we put it in our hand, and we put our arm straight out in front of us, and we're just gonna simply pronate. And this is really a large component of the serve. Now, what this drill does is it gets you used to pronation, but it also builds up some of these forearm muscles. Look at it, it's like Bruce Lee right there, right? That's strong. So we're gonna turn that. You ever see Roger Federer? He's got a big right hand and his left hand is kind of like skinny. Yeah, that's because he's always using his right hand. All right, that's it, pronation, supination. My recommendation is to start off with 10 of these, all right? So this would be a full rep. That's 1, 2, go to 10, and you should start feeling a little bit of strain in your forearm muscle, build up to 25, and if you want, you can add a racket weight for increased resistance. I just happen to have a racket weight just kind of sitting around here, so I just threw it on and I just increased my resistance by about 12 ounces. And there you go. That's the whole drill, guys. And you could do this drill anywhere, really. I picked this beautiful living room to do it, but you can do it where you choose. The second drill that we're gonna do is the serve toss. Now I have a racket in my hand, however, it is not even necessary to have a racket, so you can put it down, but I will leave mine in my hand because I love my racket. Beautiful head racket. Look at the colors on this thing. Okay, so I got my tennis ball. By the way, US Open balls, amazing, love them, okay? It's pretty much the only ball that I'll use, except if I get a free can of Wilson or Penn. All right, in this drill, what we're gonna do is toss the ball, and we're gonna leave our hand up and simply catch the ball with our hand still up in the air. There's a few keys to this that make the drill, and that is we wanna have the ball in our fingertips. So what I want to avoid is I don't want to have my palm on the ball. If my palm is on the ball, it's gonna be harder to control. So in the fingertips, I wanna toss, as I move back, I wanna toss the ball from my left leg, if I'm a righty. From a lefty, I'm gonna toss from my right leg. And the other point is I want to keep my arm straight. Okay, that's really important. I see a lot of people bend their arm, and I want to leave my arm up as high as possible and catch the ball. Now the last point to this is very, very important. When you toss the ball and catch it, I see a lot of people, when they toss the ball, they turn their hand to catch the ball. So they'll toss and they'll turn their hand to catch it. Okay? Yeah, you're catching the ball, but that also develops a bad habit. And that bad habit is turning the hand as you toss the ball, so the ball's not going to have the type of control that you need when you toss it. All right, so let's go ahead and demonstrate this. I'm moving all the way back here so you can see this. So I could have my racket up, I could have my racket down, it really doesn't matter. I can put my racket down, here I'll put my racket down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get set up in my serve stance. I'm gonna have the ball in my fingertips, starting by my leg, and I'm simply going to toss it and catch it. And I didn't change the position of my hand, as I said. So again, we're gonna toss and we're gonna catch it. And if we could catch it kind of near the apex of where we have our hand up, that would be ideal, okay? So if you're tossing it and you have to kind of move over here, or you're tossing it all the way here and you have to do this, then the toss is really not on target. We want to have that toss right up, so we really don't have to move the hand that much. I'm tossing just a little slightly to my right because that's pretty much where I'm going to hit my first serve. If we're doing a second serve, we could toss the ball a little bit more behind us. Okay, and that's it. That's the whole serve toss drill. So many players come to me with problems on their serve, and it's really stems from the toss. If the toss is wrong, then nothing really is going to go right with the serve, right? I mean, if I toss 10 feet away from me, I can have the best serve motion in the world. It's not going to help. All right, here we are at drill number 3, which is the racket drop. Now, a lot of people, when they serve, don't have a very deep racket drop, and the racket drop is really something that's a signature of a very excellent server. So they have a very deep racket drop. Personally, I've struggled with the deep racket drop, so this is a drill that I really need to practice a lot in order to help my racket drop, okay? Because I'm not a professional player. I wasn't brought up at an academy. I taught myself, and then I kind of refined my strokes. So, you know, if you have that same issue, or if you have a beginner serve and you're kind of looking to transition into the advanced serve, this is actually a great drill for you to do. Okay, and I've made an entire video of this, and I'm going to post that link below so you can check it out. But this is just going to be the brief, like 2-minute version of it, all right? So what we want to do is first get set up in the continental grip. The continental grip is like our hammer grip, like here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the racket up to my right if you're righty. Most people are going to be righty. I always say lefties do the opposite, okay? So we're going to get our continental grip. I'm going to get in my serve stance, and I'm going to bring that racket right up to here, okay? Now, if you watch the professional players, a lot of them bring the racket up into this position, okay? This is a good starting position for the serve. Some bring it back a little bit more. Some we'll just put it right over here for now. And once we get to this point, I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. We're going to bring the racket diagonally in back of our head. Okay, because that's what's going to happen on the serve. We're going to bring the racket up and we're going to bring it diagonally in back of our head, and it's going to drop pretty far back here, as you can see. So I'm going to demonstrate that from a different angle. So I'm going to demonstrate it from here. We're going to bring the racket up to our side, and then we're going to move it diagonally over our head, kind of like we're brushing our hair. I don't have that, you know, hair to brush anymore, but and we're going to drop that racket really deep. And we want to make sure, this is very important, we want to make sure that the edge of the racket, okay, so that would be if we're holding the racket up to hit the ball, would be the left edge, is going to be, we're going to feel that on our back. Now, that's like the scratch the back position. When we serve, don't worry, you're not going to actually be hitting yourself with the racket. We just want to exaggerate the motion right now so we get that feeling. So we lock it into the muscle memory. Okay, so step 1, continental grip. Step 2, we bring the racket up. Step 3, we go over the head diagonal. Step 4, we're going to touch our back here with the edge of the racket. The last step is we're going to come up to contact, and as we come up to contact, we're going to have some pronation going on. Now, as we come up to contact, we're going to have that pronation happen. So the way that pronation happens is, you see how my palm is facing in this direction, which is to my left? Okay, when I come up to strike the ball, my palm is basically going to be almost flat on to the ball and to the racket. Okay, so I'm here. Once I strike the ball, then my palm is going to turn again all the way to the right. So it's making about a 180-degree turn. And then I can just bend my arm and come through. Okay, so that's the basis for the serve. When you talk about pronation and everything, once you come up to hit the ball, you're going to you're turning your forearm, and then you just come through. That's why when you see players finish the serve, they have, looks like their thumb is down, they're in this position like Sampras, because they've just gone from supination to pronation. All right, so practice this for your serve, especially if you want to transition into the advanced serve, or maybe you have an advanced serve but you don't have a deep racket drop, you're not pronating correctly. I really like the idea of going through things really slowly, so I can slowly feel the correct position. And you'll notice a difference. If you go out to the court and you take a ball and you serve and you just do this motion, you may notice that you're going to get a lot more effortless power than when you usually force the serve. All right? So that was drill number 3. Let's go now into drill number 4. All right, we're at drill number 4, which is the bouncing ball racket drill. Super easy to do. Have the kids do it all the time before they warm up, or as a warm up. And it's really simple. So what we're going to do is hold the grip in our Eastern forehand grip, probably the easiest. And I'm just turning my hand over here and I'm holding a racket, and this is my forehand. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to bounce the ball off the racket. And what this does for me is it helps me control the ball, gives me better hand-eye coordination, and I'm also getting a feeling for the ball. Now, the first time you do it, and the first times, you know, especially if kids do it, they're gonna be all over the place, they're not gonna know. All you gotta do is just give a little hit to the ball. Just give a little hit to the ball, meaning just give a little resistance. If you give too much, the ball is gonna go up too high. When the ball goes up too high, it's harder to control. If the ball's lower, sometimes it could also be hard to control. So you just wanna keep it somewhere in the middle. And this is a drill that especially good for beginners and kids. Okay, let's go into the backhand. For the backhand, we're gonna hold the racket now with our palm facing down. That's the backhand. Same deal, everything applies to it the same way. And you may find that it's a little more challenging than the forehand, or maybe your forehand is not as good as the backhand. So this is all there is to it. I would suggest doing maybe a couple of minutes of each one, but also if you notice, it does work your forearm. Okay, once we've done our forehands and backhands, we can then alternate doing a forehand and backhand on the same bounce, which I'll demonstrate. Forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, just like this. Okay, so we have to move the racket faster. And what I like about this drill is that it's also good for the volleys, because on the volleys, right, we have to move our racket quickly to the side. And also what I like about this drill is it's kind of a pronation drill, because if you think about it, you're turning your hand over like we saw in the other drill, is pronation, supination. So it's very similar to helping with the pronation, but you're just doing it with the ball. Again, this builds up racket speed, hand-eye coordination, and good feel for the ball. All right, and then the last part of it would be to bounce the ball on the edge of the racket. Okay, that's going to be a lot tougher, so you don't really have to do it. It's just an option. So what I like to do is I like to do a forehand, backhand, edge, forehand, backhand, edge, forehand, backhand, edge. Oh, okay, I got 2 though. So I've done more. So that was drill number 4. Let's go into number 5. Okay, number 5 is the volley-to-volley drill. Now, I don't really want to do the volley-to-volley drill in my house for 2 reasons. One, I don't have another person here. You really do need another person, although I can hit the ball off the wall if I wanted to. I think it's a big wall here. But I'm really not going to do that. So if you're doing this in your home, I'm sure you don't even know what it is yet, so let me explain it. It's basically you're just going to volley the ball to each other. Okay, so instead of me demonstrating it in my house, I'm going to demonstrate it at the tennis court with my partner Nacho. However, keep in mind, you do not need a net for this drill. So you really could do it in a backyard, you could do it on a sidewalk, you can do it really at a beach. You just don't need a net. You're just practicing your volleys, that's all you're doing. Okay, so let's jump into that footage and
as you can see, we're just trying to take the ball out of the air. This is the volley-to-volley drill. So if the ball bounces on the ground, don't worry about it. And you can do this in a backyard, at a beach. If you live in a mansion, you can probably do this. And you can stand a little closer too. You know, we're a little far back because we're on the court. And it's just an awesome drill to help your reflexes, your volley form. And it's a lot of fun too.
so there you have it, guys. 5 of the 10 fun practice drills that you can do at home without a court. I tell you something, it really truly has improved my game to practice these at home. I don't want you to discount them. This is not something that I advocate just because I want to make another YouTube video or make another blog post. These really do work. Everything that I put into my blog are things that I actually incorporate in my game or my students' game. Now, guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. I put out content regularly and good content too, trying to give you the best information to improve your game. And don't forget, I'll have a link to the article below, which is gives you all 10 drills right there. But there will be another video, which is a part 2, where you can see the rest of the 5 drills, and I will link that up as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.